Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.
What I've discovered is that there is one thing that you really need to actually be good at in business. Even though I guess I'm not a well-known entrepreneur, a lot of our business success was pretty behind the scenes, working on behalf of corporations. And because we experimented in so many different businesses, we weren't just experts at one. But nonetheless, a lot of people still ask me these days, they say, Creel, what was the one thing that allowed you to start a business for $5,000 and 10 years later sell it for over $100 million? Or what was the one thing that allowed you to start a business and grow it to over 1,000 people? Or what was the one thing that made Blueprint one of the fastest growing companies in Australia? And it did take me a long while to realise that what they were really seeking was a simple way to understand entrepreneurship. And so I've been on this mission to find out, okay, what is the simple thing that would not only allow entrepreneurs the time to train themselves in a skill, but what is the one thing more than any other that made a difference in my business career? And if I look at some of the other successful entrepreneurs out there, what was the one thing that made a difference in their careers? And for me, it's a concept I call decisionship. For me, entrepreneurship is decisionship. Equally, I think our leadership is decisionship. And I define decisionship as your ability to be able to make faster, better informed decisions without the angst. Okay? There's quite a few moving parts to that statement, but a lot of people think it's just about making really quick decisions, and it's not. It's about making faster decisions, but at the same time making sure they're informed. It's about making informed decisions, but not making ones where you get too much information. In the corporate world, which a lot of us come from before we start in business, there's a real mentality that the more information, the better. But I see so many entrepreneurs, they get really caught in the headlights like I am now, and they can't make a decision because they've got too much information sometimes. And also, one of the things that I am it's really my mission to change is how do we get more entrepreneurs having fun in business? Too many entrepreneurs have too much angst. And we're talking here about pre-decision angst. Oh my God, what will I do? Will I hire the general manager, or will I spend that money on a marketing campaign? Will I take that money to bring a shareholder into my business, or will I go and get a bank loan and mortgage my house, right? There's a lot of pre-decision angst that entrepreneurs have, but equally there's a lot of post-decision angst. I made that decision 6 months ago, and you keep kicking yourself and going, if I hadn't have made that decision, if I hadn't have brought that shareholder on, everything would have been different. If I hadn't have lost that client, my business would be twice the size now. And you keep beating yourselves up about decisions that happened in the past. Well, we have to move beyond that. We have to get to a stage where we can realise that business is a game. Business is a game where our job is as simple as grabbing the helm of our ship and making decisions for better or worse, okay, and living with the outcomes of those decisions. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that think that every single decision has to be perfect, right? But they're often the entrepreneurs that before they go into business, they create this huge big plan of what they're going to do, and then it becomes a doorstop in their business. They don't actually follow the plan. They've done too much thinking. Business for me is about experimentation, right? Kids are fantastic at business. I'm going to share with you a little bit later about a foundation that I started called Club Kidpreneur. And seeing some of these 8 to 12-year-olds not worrying too much about planning their business, they just get stuck in. And some of the things that they create is pretty awe-inspiring. And I think as entrepreneurs, we need to take a leaf out of their book, and we need to start experimenting more. We need to start creating our business through action, not through thinking. Okay? And that's really what decisionship is all about. How do we actually start making decisions for better or worse, realising that some of those minor decisions, like the colour on our brochure, right? I've seen entrepreneurs stress for a week about saying, should I get this Pantone green, or maybe this one would be a little bit better, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. It's a minor decision. If you get those sort of decisions right 25% of the time, great. And then those entrepreneurs that keep stressing about, should I employ this staff member or this staff member? And they really angst about it. At the end of the day, you've got to make a decision and deal with the consequences of whatever happens from that decision. Those sort of mid-level or major decisions, you need to make maybe 50% of the time right. It's only the mega decisions, the things about, do I sell my company today or tomorrow? Do I get an investor or not? Do I actually decide to go in this branch or in this branch? Those mega decisions, you only really need to make them 75% of the time right, okay? business isn't about a perfect world. It's about getting out there and making decisions for better or for worse.
Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.